Today's devotion is titled Protecting the Secrets from God. And we're on day 197, July the 16th, if you're following the calendar. And today's morning rinse, if you are trying to read the Bible through alphabetically in a year, is to read Judges 16 through 18. And the featured verse today is Judges 16:18. When Delilah saw that he had told her all that was in his heart, she sent and called the Lord of the Philistines, saying, "Come up once more, for he has told me all that is in his heart." Then the Lord of the Philistines came up to her and brought the money in her hands. This is another story. We mentioned this yesterday about Samson. And here is the deception that happens in his life. Samson loved Delilah, but Samson also allowed his heart to be blinded by the fact that she actually did not love him in return. And in fact, she deceived him, contributing to his demise. The Lord of the Philistines wanted him captured, and so she accepted a bribe of 1,100 pieces of silver to help with this quest of capturing him. She faked her love for him, and she enticed him to reveal the secret of his strength. Now, one would think that Samson would eventually discern the deception of Delilah after her repeated attempts. I mean, sometimes the light bulb just goes on when people just continually do things. But for whatever reason, he was blinded. He knew his secret should remain private, which is why he did not initially tell her the truth. But each time that he told her this fake reason to the origin of his strength, then she would test it. 3 times she tried, and 3 times she failed. First, he told her that if he was tied up with 7 fresh cords that were not dried, he would lose his strength. That was in chapter 16, verses 7. He also told her that if he were bound with brand new ropes, he would lose his strength. That was in chapter 16:11. And then finally, if his hair was weaved and fastened with a pin, he would lose his strength. Well, every time he said this fake reason, Delilah would try, what he said. She would do the thing that he said. And there were men that were ready to capture him, but of course, that plan would fail. And her daily nagging and fake love finally broke him down, and he caved to her prodding, revealing his lifelong secret of his long hair. That was chapter 16, verse 13. The power of the deceiver over the blind can be fatal. And while Samson slept, she had a servant shave his hair, and then she invited the Lord of the Philistines to enter her room where he was at. And once they entered, they poked out his eyes, this blinded him, and then they put him into prison. And during a city-wide party, Samson was brought out, and he was put on display for everyone to mock him. I sit and I wonder if Delilah was in the crowd laughing with everyone, priding herself with her recently gained riches, while on display, Samson's final request to God was to receive strength one more time. God answered him, and Samson pushed the pillars down that held up the venue, killing 3,000 people. It's a lesson learned that if God gives us a secret, no matter how much we are enticed by others to reveal that secret, we have to keep those secrets protected. For if we share them, we run the risk of changing the perfect plan of God for our lives. Which is why I titled today's devotion, Protecting the Secrets from God. And those secrets that we receive from God, He may give us specific instructions about those secrets. He may say to you, never tell a soul. He may say to share this specifically with these people because they will help you pray it in. He may say something totally different, but those secrets are in our hearts for a reason, and we need to protect them. So, being careful who we open our hearts to can be sometimes difficult, especially if we have loved ones, who have prodded us or tried to get us to say something. And then if those loved ones are gossipers or deceivers, just like Delilah was, in Samson's life, she was deemed from his perspective a loved one, but she really wasn't. She was a deceiver. So the challenge today to dig deeper is to ask God to reveal who in your life you need to be more careful around. And unfortunately, that is not a question that we necessarily like to think about asking ourselves or asking God, but sometimes it can be important because there might be some things that he wants you to do or he wants to talk to you about that those secrets need to be protected. Because what if somebody, who is not saved or just doesn't have your best interest at heart finds out what's in your heart? There's times where, I've had friends get mocked by their family members and close friends because they just did not understand. And so, unfortunately, we're not all around people who, have our faith or our best interests at heart. And so asking God to reveal if there's anyone in your life that you just need to be more careful around. And even if there are saved or are Christ followers, sometimes people are just not ready to hear the things that God has revealed to you. And if that's the case, that doesn't mean that you love them any less. It just means that those things have to be shielded from them. Or maybe God is testing you to see if you can handle keeping, the things that he has shared with you in the secrets of your own heart. And maybe he's going to wait until that perfect time to allow you to reveal it. I don't know. But ask him who to be careful around and ask him to help you keep the secrets that are in your heart protected. And as you pull out your journal tonight, write down how you feel about your inner circle becoming tighter than it is right now. Like, is there anyone in your life that you need to cease revealing secrets to that you have in the past? Or maybe, God's plan for your life or whatever. Maybe there's a reason for God to try and, tighten up your inner circle. Maybe today's devotion doesn't even apply to you. And if it doesn't, then that's okay. But also to realize that it may apply to someone that you know. It may apply to friends or other family members or whatever. And if the subject ever were to come up, then be mindful and be respectful when they truly don't feel like they can share something. It may not necessarily be anything about you, but it could be that God's just training them to be more obedient in this moment in their life. And at the given time, then maybe they can share with you. So there's a full circle here of lessons, allowing other people to protect the secrets that are in their heart, and then you getting stronger and more disciplined to protect the secrets that are in your heart. So if Samson would have done that, that story would have been completely different. And who knows, maybe Delilah would have tried something different. I have no idea. But protecting the secrets in your heart from God are so important. And we see a tragic ending to Samson's life and story that is all because he did not protect that secret. And so just ask God and pray and see if there's, any tightening of the lips that you need to do in your life today. And I pray that you are just inspired to continually get stronger and stronger, and also to hear God's voice. He wants to talk to you. He wants to tell you secret things that are only between you and him, and he really does want to continue developing that relationship. And so I encourage you to keep pressing on and keep looking upward, because he's got a whole lot of things to share, and that's an exciting adventure. Until tomorrow, keep rinsing, reflecting, and repeating. God bless you.